Hey Army! Welcome back to my channel. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the latest updates. Okay, so, have you ever noticed something weird? Every time there's an interview or live stream, and someone asks about Jimin, RM always clams up that I don't mean he goes silent, but he becomes super careful with his answers. Think about it, when asked about other members, RM can talk for ages, sometimes even oversharing, but when it comes to Jimin, he becomes super calculated, super careful. Why though? Today, we're going deep into this mystery with 4 major theories that will absolutely blow your mind. And trust me, after watching this video till the end, you'll see RM and Jimin's interactions from a completely different perspective. But first, if you love in-depth analysis content like this, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Alright Army, let's start with the evidence. I've compiled several moments that show this pattern, and honestly, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Moment 1, James Corden interview 2022 when James asked, "Who's the most perfectionist among you guys?" Other members immediately pointed to Jimin. But RM, he just smiled and said, "Well, we all have our own standards." Pretty vague, right? Even armies in the comment section noticed. Why is RM being so diplomatic? Moment 2, BTS livestream 2023 and Army commented asking about Jimin's solo activities. Other members got excited sharing stories, but RM just said, "Jimin Hyung is working hard, as always." That's it. End of discussion. The chat immediately blew up. RM, why so serious? Tell us more about Jimin. Moment 3, Rolling Stone interview when asked about Jimin's artistic growth, RM answered very diplomatically, "Every member brings something unique to our music." Look at this, when asked about Jin, he said, "Jin Hyung has incredible vocal range and comedic timing." About V, Taehyung has this unique artistic vision. But about Jimin? Super generic, this pattern has been consistent for years. And I'm sure, as longtime armies, you've probably noticed this pattern too. Drop a comment if you've ever realized this, but wait, there's more. Before we continue to theory number 2, I want to remind you, if you're enjoying this deep analysis, please hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm, and I can make more content like this. Alright, let's move on to theory number 2. The first and most logical theory is RM being protective of Jimin. Now we all know that Jimin is the member who gets targeted by hate comments the most. Body shaming, vocal shaming, personality attacks, you name it, and as the leader, RM probably feels responsible for protecting all members, especially Jimin, who's the most vulnerable. Think about it from RM's perspective. He knows how harsh the K-pop industry can be. He knows how netizens can misinterpret every single word. He knows one wrong statement can become a toxic trending topic. So when he's asked about Jimin, he chooses to be extra careful so nothing can be twisted into ammunition for hate. Comments, evidence supporting this theory. 1. The way RM deflects criticism. Whenever there's criticism towards Jimin, RM always redirects the conversation to the group as a whole. We all work hard, we support each other, never singling out individuals. Point 2. His body language. Watch closely, guys. When the topic shifts to Jimin, RM's posture becomes more guarded. He unconsciously positions himself as a barrier. Look at this, relaxed versus guarded. The difference is obvious. 3. The leadership burden. As a leader, RM feels responsible for everyone's well-being. And Jimin, being the most emotionally sensitive member, probably needs extra protection. What do you think? Is RM being protective? Vote in my community tab poll. Theory number 2. RM maintaining professional boundaries. In the entertainment industry, especially K-pop, there are unwritten rules about what you can and cannot say about your teammates. RM, as the leader and group spokesman, might be more aware of these boundaries than other members. Jimin and RM have a complex dynamic. They're not just teammates, but also close friends. And sometimes, mixing personal feelings with professional statements can be problematic. Think about it, if RM praises Jimin too much, favoritism accusations; if he's too honest about struggles, privacy violations; if he shares personal moments, boundary crossing. So, RM chooses to keep things professional and neutral when talking about Jimin in public settings. Real life parallel. Imagine you're a CEO and someone asks about your closest friend who's also your employee. You'd be careful too, right? You don't want to seem biased, but you also don't want to seem cold. It's a delicate balance, and RM has mastered this art of diplomatic communication now. This is the most interesting and honestly, the most emotional theory. Theory 3. RM and Jimin have an emotional connection that's too complex to explain in public. Let's be real here. RM and Jimin have a really long history. They've known each other since trainee days, they grew up together, they've seen each other at their lowest and highest points. The trainee era dynamics back then, RM was this intellectual rapper from Ilsan, and Jimin was this perfectionist dancer from Busan. They came from completely different backgrounds, but somehow they clicked. The growth journey. Over the years, we've seen how they influenced each other. RM became more emotionally open, Jimin became more confident in expressing his thoughts. It's like they complete each other's growth. RM taught Jimin to articulate his thoughts, Jimin taught RM to express his emotions, the unspoken understanding. There are moments where they communicate without words. Eye contact, subtle gestures, inside jokes that only the two of them understand. Look at this moment, they're having an entire conversation with just their eyes. Maybe this emotional complexity is what makes it hard for RM to articulate his feelings about Jimin in public. How do you explain a relationship this complex in a 30-second soundbite? Some connections are just too deep for casual interviews. Drop a heart emoji in the comments if you relate to this theory. Okay, Army, now let's dive deeper into specific moments that made us suspicious. I've analyzed frame by frame, and the results are mind-blowing. The Grammy Awards 2022 backstage, there's a clip where the interviewer asked, "What does Jimin mean to BTS?" RM literally paused for 10 seconds before answering. That's eternity in interview time. Look at his expressions, you can see him calculating every word in his head, and his answer? Jimin is irreplaceable. That's it. Super safe, super generic. Twitter immediately exploded. Why did RM think so long? What was he going to say initially? Festa 2023 discussion. When other members were sharing embarrassing stories about each other, RM was actively telling stories about everyone, but notice, he completely skipped Jimin. Even though he has tons of funny Jimin stories, the contrast is so obvious when you pay attention. The Weber's live incident. Remember when Jimin unexpectedly joined RM's live? RM's whole energy shifted. He became more careful with his words, more conscious about what he was sharing. The chat noticed immediately, RM became different. Why so formal suddenly? My analysis, these moments suggest that RM's cautiousness isn't random. It's systematic, it's intentional. There's something about Jimin that makes RM feel like he needs to be extra protective of that information or relationship. Which moment shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments section. We also need to consider the cultural context here. In Korean culture, there's a concept called nunchi, basically reading the room and being sensitive to social dynamics, hierarchy and respect. Even though Jimin is technically younger, he joined Big Hit earlier than some members. There's a complex hierarchy here that outsiders might not fully understand. Public versus private persona. The Korean entertainment industry is extremely strict about maintaining image. What you show in public versus what happens in private are completely different things. The pressure of representation. As a globally recognized group, every word that comes out of RM's mouth can be analyzed by millions of people. The pressure to say the right thing must be immense. Media training impact. After years of media training, RM probably developed instinctive responses to protect both himself and members from potential controversies. Armies have various theories about why RM acts this way. Theory 1. The secret project. Some fans believe RM and Jimin are working on a secret collaboration, and RM is keeping quiet to avoid spoiling the surprise. Theory 2. Past incident. Maybe there was an incident in the past where RM's words about Jimin got misinterpreted, so he became extra cautious. Theory 3. Company guidelines. Could be that Big Hit/HYBE has specific guidelines about how members should talk about each other, and RM follows those rules strictly. Theory 4. Personal request. Maybe Jimin personally asked RM to keep certain things private, and RM is respecting that boundary. Fan evidence. Screenshots of RM deleting tweets that mention Jimin. Video compilation showing RM's different body language when Jimin's mentioned. Analysis of RM's vocabulary choices when discussing different members. RMs are basically FBI agents when it comes to analyzing our boys. But here's the thing, maybe we're overthinking this. Maybe RM's cautiousness actually shows how much he cares about Jimin. Think about it. When you really care about someone, you become more careful about how you represent them to the world. You don't want to say anything that might be taken out of context or might hurt them. The leadership perspective, RM carries the burden of representing not just himself, but the entire group. Every word he says reflects on BTS as a whole. So when it comes to individual members, especially someone as beloved and controversial as Jimin, he treads carefully the friendship angle. Real friends protect each other. And sometimes, protection comes in the form of strategic silence. RM might believe that the best way to protect Jimin is by not giving the media or antis any ammunition. The professional growth over the years, we've seen RM evolving as a public speaker and leader. His cautiousness might just be a sign of maturity, understanding the weight of his words and the responsibility that comes with his platform. So, what can we learn from this pattern? Respect their boundaries. Just because we're curious doesn't mean we're entitled to every detail of their relationship. If RM chooses to keep certain things private, maybe we should respect that. A read between the lines is sometimes what people don't say is just as meaningful as what they do say. RM's careful word choices might actually reveal more about his feelings than lengthy explanations would. Appreciate the subtlety. Korean culture values subtlety and implicit communication. Maybe we need to adjust our expectations and look for smaller, more nuanced signs of their bond. Focus on actions instead of focusing on what RM says about Jimin. Maybe we should pay more attention to what he does. Actions speak louder than words, right? So Army, after analyzing all these theories and evidence, why does RM always stay silent when asked about Jimin? Truth is, it's probably a combination of all these factors. Protective instinct as a leader, professional boundaries, emotional complexity that can't be explained in interviews, respect for privacy. What we do know is that their relationship, whatever form it takes, is special. Special enough that RM feels the need to protect it from public scrutiny. Special enough that he'd rather seem distant than risk saying the wrong thing. In a world where everything is documented, analyzed, and dissected, maybe RM's silence is actually a gift. A gift of privacy, of protection, of respect, and as Army, perhaps our job isn't to decode every interaction or demand explanations for every behavior. Maybe our job is simply to appreciate the bond they share and to support them both. After all, some of the most beautiful relationships are the ones that don't need public validation. They exist in quiet moments, in shared glances, in protective silences, and if that's what RM and Jimin have, then maybe we should just let them have it. What do you guys think? Which theory resonates most with you? Team Protective RM. Comment Protector Team Professional Boundaries. Comment Professional Team Deep Connection. Comment Soulmates Team All of the above. Comment Complex. Don't forget to smash that like button if this video made you see their relationship differently. Subscribe for more BTS deep dive analysis, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Check out these related videos about BTS dynamics that are equally mind-blowing. Until next time Army, keep streaming, keep supporting our boys, and keep spreading love. Remember, whether it's protection, professionalism, or pure emotional complexity, one thing is clear, RM cares deeply about Jimin, and sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stay quiet. Purple you.